What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, I am Michelle. I am one half of Force of Light Entertainment. My co-host, my sister, is not with me, but yeah, that's me, Michelle from Force of Light Entertainment. Good to be here, Bob.
Yes, so let's talk about disability in media, and today I want to focus on one character in particular from the hit Broadway show Wicked, Netta. Like, what do you think about the character and how they they portray her in the book and in the musical?
Well, I haven't read the book, but I have seen the musical. That is Elpithus. Oh gosh, I can't. I'm tongue tied. That is her sister, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, well, in the play, she only gets so much screen time, so it's hard to or stage time, so it's hard to say too much. Do they? Is she a bigger part in the book?
Yes, he played a bigger part. He played a bigger part in the book where, you know, he's the one who had the slippers.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Okay.
and in the book, he played a very important part because there a lot more of her story and more of like how they play her out and in the musical it does you does have an actress who is non-disabled in a wheelchair. How do you feel about not having a person play her who is actually disabled in a wheelchair that part of the show?
Oh, I mean, I don't personally have a problem with that. I mean, if there was someone who is on Broadway who happens to be in a wheelchair that tries out for the role, that's one thing. That's great. But I don't think any role necessarily has to be uh you have that disability. You have whatever X, Y, or Z is to play the role because at the end of the day, it is called acting. We
Yeah.
are acting out or actors are acting out whatever it is. So I don't think it's a requirement, but I think, if you found someone that's nice, a good example I can think of in movies at least, I really have loved what John Krasinski has done with the why did I just go a Quiet Place, a Quiet Place Part One, and a Quiet Place Part Two, and that's a good example. I think they so give you like uh, they actually use their daughter in that movie is deaf,
Yeah.
and they use like when they will cut the sound out, and it's like you are hearing what she hears. They use that so well, and in that I say all that to say that's a case where that actress actually is deaf in real life. And I think, it really serves it just worked out. She's a good actress. She happens to be deaf. They let her play a deaf character. I think that's great. But what I'm saying is I don't think it has to be the case. But if it can be the case, I think that's good.
Yeah, a lot of people who have seen the show have have said that that they think that the character should represent who the character is, but also at the same time, there's a moment in the second act where she literally walks. So now we were having a person who is
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Well, in that context, that makes sense of why they couldn't then.
yeah, and it's gonna be really interesting to see how they're gonna do it in the movie because the person who was playing that in the movie is actually in a wheelchair,
Oh, okay.
a wheelchair user. So it's gonna be interesting how they're gonna make her to walk in part two.
Yeah, yeah, I hadn't thought of that. That is interesting. So it will be, yeah, we'll have to see how they do that. I mean, I'm sure they can find a way with CGI and so everything. So I mean, I'm sure it will work out.
Like the media with people who are disabled, there's so much different media right now. Like with Echo, the
Hmm.
actor is deaf.
Yes, she's deaf.
in real life. So what do you think about media using more diversity and more people, more disability and diversity in media?
Again, I think if it works out, like in that case where you found an actress that could fit the role who happened to be deaf, again, that goes back to my example of A Quiet Place. Then I think that's great, especially now I've not watched all of Echo, but I believe there's quite a bit of sign language. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Which at which point it is very beneficial to have someone who knows how to do sign language, which I'm sure she absolutely does. So I think in that case you need someone who fits that bill because they're going to know a requirement there would at least be like knowing some sign language. But again, of course, someone that is deaf has probably been taught sign language, so that worked out very well.
Yeah, like how Otto, what do you think about like comic book movie not switching the thought material, like switching, let's say you have a character who have this superpower, but they switch it up for the new generation of people so they don't get upset. How do you feel about, about comic book movies switching up the narrative of the movie so people don't get offended?
I think I would say to that most of the time what they claim people would be offended by, most people would not actually be offended by. And I think we just gave examples, the Quiet Place actress, Echo, it worked out beautifully. And I know you're not just talking about disabilities with this next question. As a rule, if I'm running Marvel or
Mm.
I'm running DC, as a rule, I'm going to try to keep things as comic accurate as possible just because that's what people grew up loving. And when something is beloved by a big bunch of people, they get ticked off when you change that because to them it's no longer the character because you changed it so much. So in those cases, I actually think you need to stick as closely as you can to the source material. Now, little changes, no one cares. A good example of that is I know Nick Fury in the comics is a white guy, but no one cared when they made him Samuel L. Jackson because it's Samuel L. Jackson. Like, no one cares. Like, he's a great actor. But for a rule, I would try to stick as closely as I could to the source material and make it look as much like the comic as it can because again, look at the comics. There's all kinds of diversity naturally in the comic books from what they made years ago. You had white people, black people, Latin people, pretty much across the board, people with disabilities, women. I mean, the X-Men really were just a total group supposed to be representative people who feel uh, kind of left out in society, miscast or misfits in society. So I think there's a lot of diversity naturally, actually, within comics that you can just cast as is and go for, and you're going to have naturally a lot of diversity.
Yeah, bored of Ant-Man. There's a really good thing going on right now, and where a lot of people are complaining there's a character who they think is something else, but what people do not understand is that it's shape shifting, so it's a completely different thing. So I don't know if you have yet to see the new Ant-Man trailer for the TV show coming out in March. But
Are you talking about the cartoon like X-Men 97 or something?
yeah, there had been a bunch of kind of what's involving a character, and there a lot of people really upset about it, but a lot of people don't know it's a shapeshifter. That it can change into different stuff, and they think it's something else.
Mm. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not super familiar. My knowledge of X-Men would come from the movies that I've watched. So I'm not even that familiar. And I know of what trailer you're talking about, but I haven't actually taken time to go back and watch that trailer. But I know I think people seem to kind of like it. I don't know. I feel like mostly I heard positive from it, but I'm not quite sure of that.
Yeah, they did. There was the character that they did felt like it was woke, and they were doing some type of public agenda with one of the characters, and what some people don't understand it that that it was a shapeshifter, and that a lot of people just speak without any knowledge about
Mhm.
what they're really speaking about. Look at your facts before you go into what you're gonna go into, because there's also a lot of people right now thinking the Deadpool trailer. There was one part in the Deadpool trailer where people thought they thought Doctor Doom, but I don't think that Doctor Doom. I think that's somebody else. So people, they like to have a lot of false narrative on their head on, oh, this is that character. We're gonna leave. We're gonna be happy about it. But then once they see the final product, they're disappointed.
Yeah, yeah. I would be surprised if Marvel introduces a character as large as Doctor Doom in Deadpool. Maybe they will. I would be kind of surprised. That feels like something you say for the actual because we just got our first look and they've finally made official. We already knew, but they made it official who they casted for the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
Because Doctor Doom, that's a Fantastic Four villain, right?
yeah. That's a Fantastic Four.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. So I don't feel they would introduce him in Deadpool. I bet he'll be introduced in Fantastic Four at some point.
yeah. Like to be honest with you, I just feel like with comic book and media right now, people like to complain. They like to that like they don't want nobody to have fun. They don't want nobody to read to that let look and watch the movie. Like there's one film critic who had a whole opinion about Madam Web, and the whole social media said, "Oh, you can have this opinion. We're gonna watch the movie anyway." And people want to complain. What do you think about like people who tell people not to watch something, and then people who just want to criticize everything and not give anything time to really, for people to watch and form their opinions.
Well, I'm definitely not that way. For me personally, if I spend, let's just say the average ticket now, if you go to a late night showing at an AMC, you're going to pay somewhere between $12 and $17 for that ticket, depending on how nice of an AMC it is. So if I'm paying between $12 and $17 and I'm going to sit and spend at least 2 hours of my time, I want to enjoy a movie. I don't go watch movies because I don't want to be entertained. I go see a movie because the trailer was interesting to me and I'm hoping that the movie is entertaining. And at which point, like Natalie and I on our reviews, people it's kind of funny, Bob. I think you get what I'm saying. People get so mad about your opinion on a movie. And at the end of the day, like movies are like a form of art, and art can be like subjective, like what you like versus what now it also could genuinely be sometimes you enjoy a bad movie. Like I've done that before where I can identify this movie as far as a movie is not a good movie, but it was entertaining to me. And that's where like you just kind of have to have your opinion. And if you really enjoyed something that everyone else hated, just like so be it. Like, don't let it bother you. And that would kind of be what I would say. Don't let other people's opinions affect you one way or the other. Because there's also been times where I went to see something that it felt like everyone thought was wonderful. And I went and didn't really enjoy myself that much. so so again, that's where movies can just kind of be a hit or miss for each one of us. It can be a very individual experience of what we like and don't like personally. So I'm the type I'm gonna like what I like, and I'll be honest about what I don't like. but I don't ever care if someone likes something I dislike. I just feel that's very immature and very elementary school. Like, we're all adults. What does it matter if someone likes something you didn't like? It just doesn't matter. And as far as like that, I eat it. I've never told someone not to go see something. That's for each person to make up their own mind. Again, did the trailer interest them? Do they want to go see it? Go see it. It's your time. It's your money. Don't ever let someone tell you what to do with that.
Yeah, like I've noticed when you were doing your reaction to the Wicked trailer, a lot of people were on their Twitter tagging already. They said, "Oh, we're not going to see the movie regardless. We're not into musical," and they were Twitter tagging when we were talking about the actress with her musical note key for Defy Gravity,
Yeah. That made a lot of people mad. They were mad at me for how dare I, question that woman's vocal talent. And it's like, I wasn't actually questioning her vocal talent, but when you change one of the most iconic notes to the most iconic song of Wicked, which has been one of the most popular Broadway productions of the last 20 years. When you change the most iconic note of an iconic song, that's where people are probably going to critique it a little bit. And at that point, you shouldn't get offended by that either. I wasn't sitting there saying the woman sucked. I just critiqued that the end of that note didn't sound right to me, because it didn't. It just was so different than what, again, I've seen that movie twice on Broadway. And of course, I've listened to the main soundtrack so many times, and it was different, and I didn't really love it, to be honest. But when I see it and in its full glory, maybe I feel differently. But all I had to critique it on in that moment was that few second clip from a trailer. Because that's another thing, Bob. There, you can go back on our channel. People get mad sometimes at the way I react to things. I'm very honest. It's like, there could be times where I thought the trailers for the movie were awesome, and I went in with high expectations, and the trailers were better than the actual movie. And there's been times where it's been the other way around, where the trailers were so-so, and then I went and saw the movie and really enjoyed it. But yes, you definitely get people. It seems like in our space of entertainment, and I always try, and I think anyone who actually watches our channel could say that I've done a pretty dang good job at it. I'm not the type person because both of these things are disingenuous. If it's a critic who everything is wonderful, everything is grand, that's disingenuous, because everything isn't wonderful, as far as movies. But on the other side, there's a group that it feels like everything sucks, everything is bad, everything is woke, and that's disingenuous, because everything isn't all of those things. So I just try to find, again, I just try to be true to who I am, what I like, and go on. But I also don't ever care if someone's respectful in our comments. I don't ever care if they disagree with me. I'm giving my opinion. It's an opinion. It can be disagreed with, and I don't care.
Yeah, it's like like with a lot of people comment nowadays. It's like they want you to feed to the negativity, and they want you to that not like everything, and also also right now there's a lot of people who just complain with the most smallest of things in life, like right now. People said, "Oh, we're getting a Mandalorian movie." But how about the next season? They're they're no pleading them. It's like, oh, they always wanted a Mandalorian movie with the baby. Now we're getting it. Now they're unhappy, and they want something else to go with it. They're never satisfied with what they have in front of them. It's like they always want more, and they always want to to have the full expectation, and to be perfectly honest with you, I've got negativity on my Star Wars content because some people that are really offended that I'm a big fan of Star Wars and they thought getting really heated and they thought yelling at me for no reason.
Yeah, I just think that's such immature behavior, quite frankly. Again, you get it on both sides. There's this group that if you dare critique anything, oh, they're jumping on you so quick because everything has to be great. And then the other side, everything sucks and they get on you if you are positive. Basically what I have learned through doing YouTube is that you cannot please everyone. So why try? Like, just try to be true to who you are and find the audience that aligns with on YouTube. That is fine with that. Because again, on our channel, we don't care if you disagree with us, but we're going to be honest to our opinion.
How do you how do you make your channel different than anybody else? Because when I first met you guys back in 2020, I noticed your channel was really positive and focused highly on Star Wars. How did you become like a channel where you reacted to multiple stuff but not the Star Wars? How did you want it to like switch it up?
Well, I actually like because everyone thinks that I think because of Force of Light Entertainment, the name, and it was a play on Star Wars and then my Christian faith. But from the very beginning, our actual first video that we ever posted on YouTube was us discussing Stranger Things. So we have never been just Star Wars, but we did definitely used to cover it more. But I still cover when things come out that I like. Like I did now for everyone, I did just like little shorts about the Ahsoka series that came out, and then I did full reviews for our channel members. Which I don't review many shows. So I mean that does show you that I'm still interested with Star Wars and like to see what it's doing. Um, but we've really just kind of stumbled into because I really love, I think you're this way too, Bob. I kind of got into this because I love discussing movies. Like I'm truly a movie lover. Like I enjoy watching movies. I enjoy, again, it can be a form of art or it can be something that just makes you feel happy or enjoyment. I enjoy doing that. So I was naturally our channel just kind of stumbled into reactions, like trailer reactions, movie reactions. And I've been really happy with that because it's something I'm not into all the noise. Again, like you said, I've always wanted our channel to be positive. And even if someone's honest with themselves, even when because just because we are positive people that bring a lot of positive energy to our videos, again, we always want to be honest with our audience. So that
Yeah.
means at times we give a negative review of a movie, but we don't do it. If people watch our reviews, I don't think we do it in a way that would make you leave our channel feeling like just kind of weighed down by negativity. Because you can critique things and be negative about elements of things without overall the vibe just being so weighed down by negativity. Because that's kind of what gets bogged down on YouTube is when like a channel like all it is negativity. That's just too much. Like I just can't deal with that in my life. I'm just not that negative of a person. Again, I have negative thoughts as every person does. But our world doesn't need just sheer negativity. It doesn't even make you feel good as a person. It's a bad feeling. I prefer to be positive where I can be.
And like with your reactions, how do you deal with the YouTube algorithm of them taking it down or copyrights?
Well, so for trailers, I've kind of learned which studios will let you react to it and not copyright it. And then as far as with our first time watching reactions, Some you just have to keep editing it down until the studio approves it, and then once they approve it, they don't copyright it. They let it go because you've met the requirements of fair use on YouTube, and at which when they give the approval, it's fine, but you have to edit it to their liking.
And how do you do that? How do you know how do you know which is perfect and which is not?
Well, when I upload it, sometimes I get a copyright, and they will tell you what part they want you to edit out. So then you just have to edit that out, and you kind of have to know the rules of YouTube. As a rule for a movie, like first time watching reaction, if you ever count, we never show more than 6 seconds consecutively. There's always going to be a cut. Even if that next cut was just 2 seconds later, we have to cut it because we have to make it fall under fair use to where we've changed the work enough that it can't be a substitute for the real thing, is the rule of fair use.
Yeah, and what's coming up next on your YouTube channel? Like, are you planning to do stuff differently? What are you guys planning to do this year coming up in your YouTube channel?
Oh, we're just continuing on with I think we just kind of stumbled into what we like. So we're going to keep doing. We do the first time watching movie reactions where we react to seeing a movie that me and Natalie have never seen. We've got more. In fact, soon we're gonna have our first time watching reaction of Braveheart. Neither one of us had ever seen that. That's gonna be coming out soon. So we're gonna keep doing the first time watching reactions, trailer reactions, and then also movie reviews. When I go to the movies, I like to give a review because again, I like discussing movies. So we're just gonna keep doing that, and hopefully keep growing. And really, we just try to have fun with what we do. YouTube isn't our main job. We like it as a hobby, and I just want to have fun with it at the end of the day.
Yeah, and with your dad YouTube channel, what makes it really unique is that you guys have different takes on different stuff, and it's not just mainly focused on one thing. It's focused on everything. With some other YouTube channels, like you're getting just one side of the story, but you're not getting the whole half of your YouTube channel. It's very very different, and you guys do a lot of different stuff and help out a lot of people.
Yes, well, thank you so much, Bob. Yeah, we have fun doing these reactions, and again, I love movies, always have. So I enjoy watching. So, sometimes when we react to these movies, I've not seen them, so I don't know if I'm going to like them or not. But fortunately, there's only been a couple movies I didn't really like that we've watched. So I've been fortunate of picking, I guess, good ones to watch that I've mostly enjoyed. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. And again, I do hope that's even in our community. If you go to our community tab, I always hope to foster a community where people can freely express. I know they can on my end of things, where people can freely express, as long as they do so in a polite way, can express their opinion on movies, whether it aligns with mine or it doesn't. I don't care if it, express yourself. Again, movies, sometimes movies, we have different opinions, and that's fine. But I just want us to be a place that people know, one, we're clean, we keep things pretty PG around on our channel. And secondly, a place that overall the atmosphere is very uplifting and positive, and there's energy behind it is kind of what I like. Because again, there is so much just negativity. And yet again, that doesn't mean we're not going to be honest. We have plenty of reviews where we're honest and don't really like the movie, and we'll express that, but we don't want to do that in a way that we do that more in a true critic way, not in a way of just like this, just the way it can get so negative and just ridiculous on YouTube.
Yeah, are you guys planning to review the new Taylor Swift CD coming out in April? Because I noticed in the back of the back there you have a Taylor Swift poster. Are you planning to review the new CD? Because it will be it would be nice to see maybe your guys' opinions on different music, because a lot of people now on YouTube right now, they're really critical about music, and they very critical, and it'd be interesting to see a YouTube channel talk about music as well.
That's something we might discuss. We have a live stream on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually we bring up Taylor on the live stream. So I would say after that album comes out and I listen to it, I'll probably talk about it on a live stream, just give the people my thoughts on it. Fortunately, I usually like her music, so we'll see how that goes. But I am excited for that. April 19th, do we get a new album?
Yeah, what during your live streams, what's different than doing the live stream than doing a YouTube video yourself? Which one do you like doing better? The live stream on Monday or doing the individual YouTube videos better?
I kind of like it all, honestly. The live streams are fun because you get to interact with the audience, and I really enjoy interacting with our audience. So I enjoy doing those, but I wouldn't want to exclusively do those. I also really enjoy the reactions and the reviews as well. So I like it all pretty equally.
What advice do you have for people who wanna go into YouTube, but they're too afraid to go into YouTube because they think that their channel won't make it or they won't have a lot of subscribers. What do you say to people who want to go on YouTube and just want to do it as a hobby?
I think if you find something that you really love, like I loved talking about movies long before I ever had a YouTube channel. So if you find something that you really love, that you really enjoy, that is truly a hobby of yours, then I say just go for it. And you know what? If you only have 20 people watch the video, but you really enjoy doing it, I say it's still worth it for you to do it because it's a place for you to express yourself and to kind of get that out and do something. So I say just go for it. If you have something that you're passionate about, that you want to talk about, then do it and don't care about the audience at that point. But express yourself, get your voice out.
And where can people find you?
You can find me and my sister at Force of Light Entertainment on YouTube. I'm trying to get us up on Rumble as well, but right now just on YouTube, Force of Light Entertainment. You can also follow me on X or Twitter at Force of Light Entertainment and on Instagram as Force of Light Entertainment. So definitely check my sister and I out at any of those places.
And thank you so much for coming on here and talking today.
Yes, well, thank you for having me, Bob. I always enjoy our chats, so thank you for having me again.
Yeah, hold up.